One wrong move near the sludge conveyor, and the machine takes control. At a wastewater treatment site, a worker steps onto an active sludge conveyor, checking its control box. The machinery churns wet, heavy material grinding steadily through layers of thick sediment. Focused on his task, the worker leans closer, unaware how close he's drifted toward danger. As he adjusts the control box, the edge of his sleeve brushes the moving drum. The fabric tugs slightly before the motion surges, the machine pulling forward as momentum takes over. In seconds, the steady rhythm becomes a rapid cycle, shifting from routine to alarm. Rotating conveyors must always be shut down and isolated before inspection or repair. A moving drum can trap anything near it, and mechanical energy won't wait for awareness. At the loading bay, one missed brake, and a parked truck turns into a moving hazard. In a busy freight yard, a container truck waits by the dock. A worker moves behind in a bid to open the back. Another vehicle pulls up behind him as the driver steps out hurriedly without properly parking. Moments later, the truck begins to roll forward. A worker behind notices too late as the heavy vehicle edges dangerously close. The truck settles in place. A close reminder of how one missed step can set danger in motion. Always secure the vehicle and check the brake system before stepping away. Never ever assume a parked truck will stay still. One lapse can set danger in motion. One wrong move on a live lathe, and chaos erupts in a flash. Inside a training workshop, students gather around a lathe machine for a quick demo. The metal chuck sits open, a wrench still clamped in its jaws. One student steps forward confidently, gripping the wrench and bracing his foot on the frame. Laughter fills the air as others record, unaware that the machine's switch remains live. He twists the handle hard, and the lathe spins to life instantly. The wrench jerks free, momentum building faster than anyone expects. In seconds, the setup transforms from still to spinning, a powerful reminder of how stored energy reacts the moment power connects. Never, ever leave a wrench in a lathe chuck or power a machine while adjusting. Always clear tools, check switches, and respect the energy waiting beneath that start button. On a suburban street, a garbage truck erupts in a sudden blast of fire. It's a quiet neighborhood morning. A garbage truck rolls up to the curb, the driver methodically lifting bins one after another. Steam drifts from the exhaust as the hydraulic arms move in rhythm. Everything feels normal until pressure builds where no one can see it. Hidden beneath the frame, a hydraulic line weakens, carrying fluid under immense force. Fluid sprays into the air, drifting toward the exhaust. A flash follows as heat meets mist. The system flares briefly before shutting down. The driver reacts quickly, isolating the source as smoke clears. What lasts only seconds becomes a reminder of how hidden pressure can ignite bigger risks. Hydraulic fluid under pressure can ignite instantly when it meets exhaust heat. Regular line checks and immediate leak repairs prevent small failures from becoming firestorms. At a maintenance site, one step too far, and the fall line snaps to life. Inside a large industrial facility, scaffolding and safety rails line the upper deck. The worker, dressed in a full-body harness and helmet, prepares to access a deep shaft below. A bright overhead light casts long shadows across the pit, making the depth appear endless. His lanyard clips to a nearby bar as he shifts closer to the edge, ready to descend. The anchor bar bends under sudden tension. It's not designed for a full fall arrest. His boot slips, and the harness takes the load in an instant. The fall halts midway as the line absorbs the force, leaving the system swaying before stabilizing. What could have been a fall becomes a critical reminder about anchor strength and rating. A harness is only as strong as where it's secured. Never, ever trust an unverified anchor point for fall protection. Inspect, test, and confirm every connection before you step near an edge. One swing of a crowbar, and everything behind that wall bursts loose. Inside a half-finished building, concrete walls glisten under work lights. A worker in a blue shirt and hard hat stands ankle-deep in slurry, prying open a form panel. He grips the crowbar tighter, nudging the panel's edge free. The space feels still, silent, right before pressure finds its escape. With one final pull, the panel shifts free and drops. Pressure escapes in a rush as it touches the ground, sending slurry spilling forward across the floor. The sudden release spreads fast, coating the area and halting work in seconds. What began as a simple pry becomes a clear lesson in unseen pressure and stored energy. Never, ever release formwork or panels without confirming pressure balance. What's sealed inside can unleash instant, uncontrolled force. Inside a textile factory, one flick of a switch, and the current finds its path. The weaving hall hums with movement, machines running in steady rhythm. A worker stands near a wall-mounted control board, holding a plugged-in piece of equipment he's about to start. The metal casing is damp with condensation, and the board's surface shows burn marks from old faults. He presses the switch. A surge jumps through the damp casing, arcing across the control board. The current overloads the circuit, forcing the breaker to trip as sparks scatter across the panel. The system shuts down in an instant, leaving only the echo of that flash, a sharp reminder of what missing grounding can unleash. Electrical systems without proper earthing are silent killers. Fault current always finds a way, and when the path isn't grounded, it runs through you instead. In a busy kitchen, one missed step, and a spinning blade turns routine into risk. Inside a commercial kitchen, steam rises from pots as a worker rushes through meal prep. He fills the food processor and sets the lid, forgetting to lock it properly. The air is thick with movement, utensils clattering, and tasks overlapping as the clock ticks forward. He flips the switch. The unsecured lid launches upward as the processor rattles against the counter. Instinctively reaching forward, he stops short as the machine vibrates and clatters to a halt. The crew pulls the plug, proof of how fast a small mistake can spin out of control. Check every safety lock and guard before starting any machine. Never, ever reach into moving equipment or try to stop it by hand. Switch it off first. A second's caution can prevent a lifetime of injury. Inside a security booth, one direct touch turns a normal task into a surge of danger. The booth is quiet, monitors flickering softly as rain taps against the window. A small electrical appliance stands beside, plugged into a socket near the damp floor. The wire is frayed, the casing metallic and ungrounded. The guard, unaware of the fault, reaches forward to adjust it. Routine, simple, harmless at first glance. The moment her hand makes contact, a surge flashes through the faulty appliance. The circuit overloads, causing the breaker to trip as sparks flicker at the cord. What began as a small adjustment ends as a sharp reminder of how fast current finds a path. Never, ever handle plugged-in electrical equipment with damaged wires or wet surroundings. Unplug first, inspect later, because electricity travels faster than realization. At a small truck yard, one missed lock, and a tilt turns into chaos. In a dusty open yard, a blue semi sits beneath a shed roof. Its cab is raised for engine repair. Tools spread across the frame. A mechanic in red checks fittings, while another worker kneels by a nearby pickup just in front. Both are focused, unaware that the cab's balance rests on unsecured supports. Moments later, the tilt arm slips free and the cab lowers suddenly. The front section comes down hard against the frame, scattering dust as the crew steps back in shock. Tilted cabs demand mechanical locks, not faith in hydraulics. Always secure, verify, and block before starting work. Even routine maintenance can turn hazardous when safety locks are ignored. Before lifting any cab, confirm the lock pin, chock the frame, and clear the area. Control the hazard before it controls you. Don't forget to share what you learned today in the comments. Your insight could save a life. Take care.